Maria Huba, and I'm president of the Hamilton Township PTA. I would like to thank each of you for joining us remotely this evening. Each year, the Hamilton Township PTA hosts a Meet the Candidates Night so that all of the members of our community can be informed when voting. As you know, this meeting is being recorded and will be viewable on the What's Going On in Mays Landing Facebook page. I will be your moderator this evening, and fellow PTA member Mr. Jerry Nelson will be our timekeeper and provide technical support. In an effort to keep this meeting to an hour, each candidate will have 1 minute to introduce themselves. Candidates have been randomly numbered. Mr. Nelson will select a number, and then that person will go first. After that, the questions will go in alphabetical order based on last name so that every candidate has a chance to answer first. We will have 5 or 6 questions. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer each question. It is not a debate, and there will not be opportunity for rebuttal. The timekeeper will stick to the 2-minute timeline. Candidates will not be allowed to go over the time limit. If needed, the timekeeper will mute the candidate's microphone if the candidate chooses not to yield. At the end of the questions, each candidate will be provided 1 minute to give any closing statements. So let's begin with our introductions. Sean, we're going to have you go first for the opening statements, and then we'll reverse our alphabetical order for the closing. So, Sean, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. I'm sorry, I was in meeting. Hello, my name is Sean Ankra. I'm a resident of Hamilton Township for 17 years now. I'm current member of the board for the past 9 months. I live here with my husband, my 3 children. 2 of my older children have gone through the school system from Shaner through Davies, very successful at that. I have 1 more now in Shaner, who's enjoying himself as well. I'm a teacher for 23 years of elementary school. I've taught, currently teach 3rd grade for the last 23 years. I have a master's degree from Teachers College at Columbia for ed administration, and my undergrad bachelor's degree is in sociology and education. Thank you.
Thank you. Amy Hasso, would you like to go next?
Wonderful. Can you hear me? Thank you so much. My name is Amy Hasso. I am married with 2 children. I've lived in Hamilton Township for 18 years now. Both of my children have successfully gone through the Hamilton Township School District, and they both are in magnet programs at Cedar Creek. I have my master's in social work from Rutgers with a specialization in wellness, suicide prevention, and trauma. I am currently on the board. I've been on the board for 6 years now. I joined the board 6 years ago because we had a suicide contagion in our community. And being on the board, being able to work with such amazing people, we were able to create a mental health initiative and truly see our children be supported and us as a school district be successful. There's still a lot more to do, a lot more that I want to do. I am currently the president. I was vice president for 4 years, and I just am so proud to be a member of the Board of Education, and I really hope to be able to continue serving our community.
Thank you. Beverly Pareto.
Hello, everybody. I am Beverly Pareto. I am a lifelong resident of Mays Landing. I'm a former student of Shaner, Duberson, Davies, and an Oakcrest graduate. I'm also a former employee of the Hess School Complex. I'm the wife of a military veteran, and I am a mother of 3 boys in the district, 2 attend Hess and 1 attends Davies. I'm an educator. I have been teaching early childhood education in an inclusive setting for the last 15 years. And currently, I'm one of 2 master teachers overseeing a preschool grant program with 30 classrooms consisting of approximately 450 students. My educational background is I have an associate's from Atlantic Cape Community College, a bachelor's from Georgian Court University, a master's from University of Phoenix. And my teaching certifications, I have a Teacher of the Handicap certification, elementary K through 8 certification, preschool through 3rd grade certification, and I have a master's in curriculum and instruction. And it's my experiences as a student from the Township of Hamilton that led me to my career path as an educator. And I just would love the opportunity to give back as a member to our amazing board. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Harry Rogers.
Hello, my name's Harry Rogers. I'm a resident of Hamilton Township now for about 42 years. I'm a graduate of New York Maritime College with 2 science degrees and a MBA degree in finance. I run a small business, small ship operating business, and I have 3 grown children, 3 of which spent at least some time in the Hamilton Township schools. And that's it.
Okay, thank you, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started with our questions. I did give everybody a number. Jerry, do you want to pick a number so we know where to start?
Sure, number 3.
Number 3, that is Harry Rogers. So we'll start you with question number 1, and then from there we'll go in alphabetical order as we go through the questions. So question number 1, what experience or training in education do you have that makes you qualified to run for a position on the Board of Education? If you are an incumbent, why should you be reelected? And if you need me to reread it, please just let me know.
Board of Education essentially is running a $25 million business. You don't need a background in education to run a business. And it has been my opinion and understanding over the many years that I've been monitoring the Hamilton Township School Board that it is a fiscally irresponsible group. And that's why I'm running. Done.
Thank you. Sean, would you like me to read the question again?
Yes, please. Yes.
What experience or training in education do you have that makes you qualified to run for a position on the Board of Education? If you're an incumbent, why should you be reelected?
I feel like I should be reelected, and because of the experience that I do bring. One is being a parent of 2 children who have very successfully gone through the education system. I know what programs worked for them, what programs didn't work, how they were successful, what programs this district had in place that really helped my kids succeed. The other is my education background, and with us being, I'm sorry, looking at policy, we look at curriculum, we look at the new programs that are being brought in the district. Some of these programs I have experience with. Some of them I look at on paper and say, you know what, that might be a good program for our kids because our kids need this or that, or may say, oh, I'm not sure if our kids need that. So my experience of teaching helps me get an idea even before the program is put into place of what seems like it will help majority of our kids, or if it's targeted for that group. I can for the most part look and say, okay, well, you know what, maybe that will help, or maybe not. Maybe we need to look at it again. And like I said, my 2 kids were very successful. So I know that this school has a lot, this school district has a lot of very successful programs that were able to help my children excel in their schooling and go on to very high-performing high schools themselves. And I can see it right now that my child who's in the system now, in the school system now, he's also excelling, and I can see the programs and the things he's bringing back is really pushing him forward and helping him, especially since we've been home for so long.
Thank you. Amy, would you like me to reread the question?
I think I'm good. Thank you so much. I love Hamilton Township School District. I love being on the board. So just a little bit of my background as a social worker. As I had mentioned in my introduction, I saw our kids were suffering. They were dealing with trauma, and we were losing children to suicide. And I personally felt as if we had such incredible staff members that just wanted to make a difference. We brought on a superintendent at that time who had a focus on mental health, and ultimately we were able to change policy and work collaboratively with the district to create programming that not only was utilized in our district, but utilized throughout the state. One of the reasons why I really would love to be reelected is because I believe I've taken every advantage of being a board member, and I want to continue to do that. And what I mean by that is there's so much more that we can do for our community through New Jersey school boards than just come to board meetings. I've been to over 150 hours of training, including leadership weekends. I've had the opportunity to be on the task force for mental health and safety for the state of New Jersey. I kind of sort of convinced them to start a health and wellness committee that is currently an ad hoc committee for New Jersey school boards, which I sit on as chair. And being able to have that relationship with New Jersey school boards, being able to advocate for our children with senators and with people in Trenton, and having all of those opportunities have allowed me to truly try to bring the most to the table. And then finally, I love the board members I work with. I really do believe that I have a servant leadership model. I've made sure that every one of the board members since I've been president have a leadership position in the board because I believe in ownership. Not only that, I run the Hamilton Township Hamilton Cares program, and more than half of my board members have gone out with me to feed members of our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Beverly, do you need the question reread?
Yes, please.
Okay. What experience or training in education do you have that makes you qualified to run for a position on the Board of Education? If you are an incumbent, why should you be reelected?
So as I mentioned in my opening, my experience is I am a product of Hamilton Township schools. I went through the schools. I enjoyed my time. I've had wonderful experiences as a student here. And now I'm a mother of 3 who attend the schools. My educational background has all been early education, and I've been working with providing curriculum to my new program, providing materials and trainings for my staff, as well as for myself. Training is just a really big part of who I am. And I'm passionate for just education in general. And that's pretty much it. I have a lot of educational background. It's 16 years as an educator, with an additional 2 years working within an office in the district. So I do have a lot of background knowledge that I can lend to the Board of Education.
Thank you. Okay, we're ready for question number 2, and Sean, you will be answering this question first. Question number 2. What do you see as the top 3 education issues that our board must address over the next 3 years? Would you like
our top? I'm sorry. I think our top issues are our safe return to school for our students. In the times we're living in, we want the kids in school, but we have to make sure we're doing it in a safe way to make sure that everyone's staying healthy, everyone's so that we can continue to stay in school. Another one is our because we've been out and because we've had so much loss and we've had so many things go on, we must definitely one issue that we have already been working on, but we have to definitely probably up it, is our social emotional learning for our children. And there are programs that we already have, those we are looking to continue to bring in, just to help our kids, to help them get past some of the things that they can't actually verbalize, and they don't really know why they're feeling a certain way. The other thing is because our kids have been out and not everyone has been able to shine or take on the virtual learning, they've lost a lot. And just making sure we have program and curriculum in place to help them fill in those holes, to fill in the gaps, to help our kids move along. Those who never missed a beat, help them continue to soar. Those we kind of lost somewhere, give them that support. Make sure they have that support that they feel like they can achieve and they can continue to move on. So the 3 are our safe return, programming that is going to continue to help our kids excel, and social emotional learning to help our children. emotionally.
Thank you. Amy, you're answering this question next.
Thank you so much. So when I look at the top three things that we really need to consider right now, one is definitely, I agree with Sean, we're looking at, after what we've been through in the last 18 months to 2 years with the pandemic, basically being able to create, I think that number one, we need to learn from the good things that we never saw before. How do we use technology? How do we have students be able to, collaborate both at home and in school? And I think we've learned those things through the utilization of distance learning. Our teachers did an incredible job with these hybrid models to show that we have more that we can do than I think we ever realized. And they kind of figured that out on the fly, which was pretty incredible. But also, how do we come back from that safely and make sure our students feel safe, our parents feel connected? I think that's a big piece of it. Secondly, mental health. We have all dealt with shared trauma. And it's not just our students, it's our staff members, our teachers, our administrators, our community members have all had shared trauma through COVID. And I think that making sure that we have proper programming for social emotional learning, for mental health, all of those things are essential, because it's not just our students that were considered at risk before, it's our students that lost things like sports for all those months, that was their coping skill. Teaching them how to get back and get connected and feel like themselves again is just so essential for their success. And finally, I'm so concerned about the shortages that we've been seeing nationwide of truly, staff is an incredible resource. The amount of time and knowledge and I'm not just talking about our teachers, I'm talking about our paras, our bus drivers, our custodial staff, our food service staff, our substitutes are incredible resources, and our district can't function without them. So making sure that we provide an environment to have fully staffed with these incredible people to provide our students the best possible schooling.
Thank you. Beverly, you're going to answer this question next. Would you like it repeated?
No, thank you. So I feel the three areas of concern, or areas that we need to look at, is number one, our mental health and well-being for both our students and staff. We've all been through a world of virtual teaching and learning and hybrid schedules and mask wearing, social distancing, closures and quarantines, all while some may ask, how are you doing? I think that we need to really look at it and ask the question differently, of how are you doing? We need to take maybe more of a mental health inventory and give support where support is needed, whatever that may be. The social emotional well-being, as much as we're trying to create a new normal, we're still missing that huge piece of our social emotional needs. Another area is the pandemic recovery. It's not going away, and we need to continue to look at different policies and plans that will not only continue to ensure the health and safety of our students and staff, but to also work towards a new normalcy. It's important to keep in mind the efforts that we've made already, and continue to improve on that, again, that piece with mental health concerns. And the last area, we do have a great leadership in our district, and I want to continue strengthening that leadership, continue to work with our administrators and our supervisors in strengthening the educational needs of our students, of our staff, and incorporating the community into those areas. That's it.
Thank you. Harry, would you like the question repeated?
No, thank you. The national teachers unions have made it a point to press for radical curriculum changes nationwide. My primary concern is to make sure that none of these radical changes come to Hamilton Township. I believe in curriculum transparency, curriculum and the syllabus for every course taught in the school should be posted for parents' review. There's a place on the website for that. It's blank, nothing there. It should be completely filled up so that parents can see what their children are being taught. That's my primary concern. Thank you.
Thank you. Amy, you're going to start with question number 3. So question number 3 is, how do you view your role as a school board member, and what changes do you hope to bring about?
I am a servant leader. Honestly, that is the number one way that I would describe myself as a school board member. I am a servant leader. Servant leadership is the whole idea that you don't lead through telling somebody what to do, but you lead through walking beside them. You lead through doing it with them. And honestly, that has been the biggest honor, to walk side by side with our new superintendent, with our staff members. As school board member needs to be a member of the community. They need to, Hamilton Township Cares, I mentioned briefly before. I'm out there with my other board members feeding kids and seeing how they live, because how do we make decisions on policy? How do we make decisions at that board table if we don't know what our student experience is? And all of our students, not just a few of them, not just the ones that live in our neighborhood or our houses, but all of them, the ones that are high achieving, the ones that are struggling, the ones that don't have Wi-Fi. Ultimately, the change I want to bring about is student achievement for all students. And what that looks like is embedding things like fine arts, making sure that our students are able to be successful in the areas that they're going to need going forward to, let's be honest, every doctor, every lawyer, every business person, every social worker, every teacher started at school. And ultimately, if I have to look at a doctor, I want to know that the teachers care as much about them as we care about our students, because they're the future. So I see ourselves as servant leaders to our kids, to our parents, and to our community.
Thank you. Beverly, would you like the question repeated?
No, thank you. So my role as a board member, I want to be a part of a team. I think that is most important when you are a board member. You are not a single person, you are everybody. You are a team. You're working together for our students and our staff for the greater good. You need to know that it's a team effort and it's collaboration. And in doing that, we can accomplish so many things that are given to us or put at our table. Again, we have to work as a team and be understanding to everybody. It's just, for me, I would just like to bring my years of experience as a student in the district and as an educator, and just to share with our board those experiences. Again, it's very important to remember that we are a whole and we work together, and that's how we'll get things accomplished.
Thank you. Harry, would you like the question repeated?
No, I'm okay. Role as a board member, I'd like to be able to bring some financial and fiscal responsibility to the Hamilton Township School Board. I believe it has been absent for far too long. The school board has pushed through salary-laden budgets with no money for capital improvements, followed up by massive bond ordinances that have to be passed in order to get any kind of repairs done to the schools. I think it's irresponsible. And that is one of the things that I will be pushing for. Thank you.
Thank you. Sean, would you like the question repeated?
No, I'm okay. Okay. All right. So I believe my role of the board member is very similar in the fact that I look at myself as a voice. Everyone can't be on the board. So I feel like I'm a voice and bringing my educational and my parent background. Like I said in the previous question, that I had my kids went through very successfully through the school system. And I feel like I can be a voice for other parents or an advocate to help them get the types of services that their kids need. Working with another group of great people who we're already working with right now to make sure our kids, everyone has access to high academics, awesome, same like Amy said, the great arts. Oh, sorry. So sorry. Sorry. Great arts programs. I'm sorry. Sports, whatever it may be. Working together, being a voice for the community, to bring the community together, to just so our kids can have the best in our district, academics, arts, sports, so on.
Thank you. Okay, Beverly, the next question is for you to go first. What does equity mean to you, and how do you feel it affects the school district? Would you like me to repeat it?
No, you're good. Thank you.
Okay.
So equity to me is just simply fairness and achievement. It's giving resources needed for all individuals, all students to reach a common goal. It's the expectations are the same for our students, but we do need to support each individual student. How this could affect our district. Basically, we need to think about equity when we're working on a budget. We need to assess the needs, where those needs will be, and how we can provide those needs. So again, it's the expectations are the same. I want to make sure that's clear. The expectations are the same. It's just, it depends on the student needs, and we have to work towards that.
Thank you. Harry, would you like me to repeat the question?
No, thank you. Equity in its common form these days doesn't mean what it seems to mean. It means equality of outcomes. And that's a very laudable and desirous goal. Quite frankly, all kids don't do as well. Every kid should have the opportunity to excel, be given the resources that they need to excel. But to lump everybody in to a common ending, I think is a foolish proposition. Thank you.
Thank you. Sean, would you like the question reread?
No, I'm okay. Equity. Okay, so when I think of equity, I think about, are we giving our students all the resources they need in order to be successful? When not everyone needs the same resources, but do we have those resources available for those students to have the same or similar outcomes? For instance, we made sure when we had to shut down, everyone had a computer, because we knew that not everyone would have a computer. We found ways that children can have Wi-Fi, because if not, there would be no equity in that, because only certain students would be able to access it. During the shutdown, and when we came back to school, we wanted to slowly open up. We had things like band and things. So our question was always, are the other people, not everyone has a parent to drop them off. Will we have busing to make sure the other kids have access? So it's, again, providing those resources so that in the end, we can all have the same or very similar experiences. Everyone will not have the same outcome, but we just want to make sure we have those resources in place, that we're giving everyone a fair and equal chance. If you're in special ed, are you receiving the things that are in your IEP that were going to help you be successful? If you're in BSI, are you receiving instruction that's going to one day help you move past BSI? If you're in gifted and talented, are you being challenged in all of those areas? So that's some equity means what I think of when I think about equity. Are we providing everyone the resources they need in order to have success?
Thank you. Amy, do you need the question reread?
No, I'm good. Thank you. So what equity means to me is, and please forgive me, I'm going to take you guys kind of through some personal things that I've seen in the last year. COVID has been tough. COVID has been extremely tough for so many reasons. But what I see as equity is that our food services staff at Hamilton Township School District, other than 1 week through the entire pandemic, gave out, at some weeks it was 16,000 meals. And it wasn't, who are you? Are you free and reduced lunch? Why do you need the food? Fill out this paper. It was, do you just miss having chicken nuggets because you haven't been in the district? And that makes you feel connected to that lunch lady who made you feel seen. Equity in our district, we've seen that there are places we can do equity better. One of the incredible things that we saw as the board in the last year is things like, how do we do our gifted and talented? How do we do our advanced placement classes? What are we doing with our behavioral students? What are we doing with feeding students? Are we making sure that kids who don't have Wi-Fi have a hotspot? And we asked a lot of really good questions that really came from prior to COVID, but were even made more blaringly obvious because of the pandemic. And as a board, we sat down and said, are we doing as much as we need to do to give every child the ability to do as well as they could possibly do in a public school system and be able to try out different arts? My daughter never knew that she wanted to get into theater except Ashley Winkler and, you know, and Mrs. Arsenault, and the teachers came to her and showed her what that meant. And now that's all she wants to do. Our teachers make children feel connected to things they never knew that they wanted. And I think that's equity.
Thank you. Moving on to question number 5. Harry, you're going to go first. To whom do you see as your primary responsibility, students or taxpayers? Please only choose one.
Can't choose one. You're equally split. You have responsibility to both of your constituent groups.
Thank you. Sean, would you like the question repeated?
No, I'm okay with that. Yes, true, we do. We definitely have both responsibility, but I guess my teacher and me and parent and me would have to say that my primary reason is for the children, for the students, as a teacher, to make sure they have those innovative, rigorous programs in place that's going to help move them along and be successful in high school and beyond, be ready for high school, any high school they go to. As a parent, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Okay, so like I said, to make sure the students in the school, like I said, have the programs they need in place, have what they need. Needs are being met, programs are in place, they're getting all the resources they need, again, in order to be successful. They have many different outlets, academic, arts, sports, all types of things. So like I said, the parent and the teacher and me tends to lean towards the children because we want to pour into them so that they can pour into the next generation. And if we pour into them with the correct resources and everything they need, then it just creates a ripple effect in life.
Thank you. Amy, would you like the question repeated?
No, thank you. I appreciate it. I see my primary responsibility to being for the children, for the students in our district. Absolutely. Now, that's not saying that I don't have a responsibility for the taxpayers, but it does say that my number one priority for doing this for the last 6 years, for putting in hundreds of hours of volunteerism because we don't get paid, is because I look every day and say, am I doing what's best for the kids? Am I doing what's best for the students? That is the question I ask myself with every policy we change and every curriculum we bring in and everything we do. And the reality is in Hamilton Township School District, we do a lot with less. When you look at districts that are similar size to us across the entire state, we are ranked 10th most fiscally responsible in regards to how much we spend per student. So if you look at our per pupil cost for the 2019-2020 school year, we spent $14,691 per student. And that honestly put us in using doing more for less compared to 90% of the other districts. Or, the thing is that if you have a good school, people will move to your community because they want to be part of that school. And if people move to your community, businesses move to your community, and ratables are better, and you're doing what's right for the taxpayer by doing what's right for the kids. Parents are going to move here. Families are going to move here because we have a great district. And we have a great district because we have great programs and because we care about our kids and because ultimately we want to have the best school possible for our children. Because they're our constituents when it comes to the people that are in that school every day experiencing what we provide. And so ultimately, I respect our taxpayers. I am a taxpayer, and I believe we have responsibility for them, but I believe we meet that responsibility every single day that we make our district better. Thank you.
Thank you. Beverly, would you like the question repeated?
No, thank you. I have to agree, as an educator, as a parent, I think that our primary goal is for the students. They are our future, and we are always told to invest in our future. We need to give our students the best opportunities for success in education and in life. We invest in excellent curriculums. We can do more with after-school programs that can incorporate all of our students. Also doing, activities for our elementary and primary levels. So I really believe that our primary interest is our students. Again, I am a taxpayer, and sometimes it is difficult to see that at the end of the year. But again, this is our future. These are our future. There are opportunities. So again, it's for the students.
Thank you. I think we have time for one more question, so we're going to use our sixth question. And Sean, you will be going first. How important are athletic and fine arts programs, such as band, theater, art, music, etc., to the overall success of the educational process, and why? I know it's kind of long. Would you like me to?
No, it's okay because it's right up my alley. So Amy's laughing. Like my two oldest children went through the system, and from Rushmore on up, they both were involved in bands. They both played piano. My daughter did piano and flute. My daughter did track at Davies, and then she too, because of Ashley Winkler, got involved in theater, and now she's fully involved in theater in high school. So they are, I can't even tell you how important they are for the kids' self-esteem. We know what music does to children, help them academically, help enhance them academically. I don't understand why sometimes when there's cuts, that's the first thing to go, because those are the things kids don't only need their academics. Those things help them with their self-esteem. Not everyone is going to be successful in the classroom, but they may be successful on the court, on the tennis court, or the track, or in the band or something. But those things are so important. Those are most of the things that kids look forward to coming to school for, most of them, if they aren't as successful in school. Even if they are, it tends to be something they love. They gravitate to it because it makes them feel good about themselves. It's exciting. You meet new friends. So those things are so important to our school. And like I said, I know firsthand from my own two children being involved in band, sports, and the art, all of the arts, basically.
Thank you. Amy.
So I kind of feel like I'm cheating because I'm going to say all of that because I agree with Sean completely. And then I get an extra 2 minutes, which is amazing. This is probably my favorite question you probably could have asked. I agree completely with Sean. I could sit here and give you statistics all day on how we know academics is improved and behavior is improved with fine arts and sports and theater and drama. But the thing is, this is how we get kids connected to love learning. Let's be honest. Our classrooms can't look the same as they did when our parents were in school or when we were in school. Now they're looking at how do we embed music and art into the classroom? How do we make it something that the kids really want to participate in? My daughter's favorite thing to do when she went into geometry class in high school, because she loves art from Mrs. Brown, I got a shout out there, she did these incredible art projects that got hung up on the wall that had geometric shapes in them, because the Hamilton Township School District had her so excited about learning through the arts, and it helped her with her math. Language arts you can learn through learning lyrics of songs, and then you can learn the history of those lyrics in your in your history classes. And you can take things, like I said, like art, and look at them for science and math. And if kids are sitting there all day long just reading from textbooks, what is going to make them enthusiastic about coming back every day? Some kids just like the intrinsic value of learning, but when kids actually feel like they can have passion, and art, and let's be honest, is definitely sports and theater and music, they bring out the passion in children. We need that before school, during school, and after school, always.
Thank you. Beverly, would you like the question repeated?
No, thank you. So I feel that through sports, it promotes teamwork and collaboration, things that take you outside of the classroom. It's goal-oriented. It promotes physical and mental wellness for our students. It also is a sense of fairness and fair play. With our arts, it's creative, and it instills abstract thinking on an individual and a collaborative basis. Again, going back to the sports, you're using your body, and it's kinesthetic, and you're working with awareness and position and movement, and some children learn better by doing. So again, it's adding to an extra piece to their education. And just in a whole, it's taking them outside of the classroom where they're sitting at a desk. When they're out doing these activities, they're starting to make new friendships, and the friendships that they make tend to last longer when they're active together and they're learning to work together. So that's my answer.
Thank you. Harry, would you like the question repeated?
No, thank you. Extracurricular activities, sports, music, are an integral part of education. They have to be encouraged, and they need to be supported by the board. That's all I got.
Thank you. All right, that concludes our questioning. So now we will go into your closing statements. Everybody will have 1 minute, and we will do reverse alphabetical order. So Mr. Rogers, we'll start with you.
I'm running for Hamilton Township School Board, like I said before, to ensure curriculum and fiscal transparency. I don't think that has been the case in past years. These are the things I will work for. I run a small business. I have a profit and loss responsibility for a $5 million company. Running the business of the district is somewhere between a $25 and $35 million business. It is my opinion that teachers should not have the right to vote on their own pay raise. And the vast majority of people on the board are conflicted, and I think that's wrong.
Thank you. Mrs. Pareto.
I first want to say thank you to the PTA for this Meet the Candidates opportunity. Thank you for this. Again, I see myself as someone who will be an advocate equally, both for students and staff alike. I bring to the table 16 years of educational experience, which I've said before, as well as 12 years of parenting, 3 boys, mind you, experience to our Board of Education. And I can see with what we have so far as a board, I can see the Township of Hamilton School District becoming a model school both locally and statewide as we work together as a board for our students, for our staff, and community towards a common goal.
Thank you, Mrs. Hassa.
Thank you so much. I do have to thank the PTA for doing this every single year and making sure our community gets to know us a little bit. So thank you for that opportunity. All I can say is I am so proud to be part of the team that I'm part of. We, for the first time, have a board that is incredibly diverse with background and education and experience, and a team that is willing to come together and put in the time, a team that includes an incredible superintendent and BA and all of our administrators and staff. And honestly, it has been one of the greatest honors in my life to be part of it. I've done a lot of volunteerism. People often say sometimes too much, but this is volunteerism that never feels like work. Having the opportunity to change policy and promote mental health and just support our schools is just something that I would love to do as long as you guys allow me to do it. So thank you, and I hope to be able to continue to work with this amazing team.
Thank you, Ms. Ankra.
Again, thank you for allowing us to have our say as to why we want to do this and who we are. I would like to be elected to the board because for the time that I've been there, I've had a great experience with this group of people. We have vast backgrounds. We've been working well together to make sure that our district has opened up safely, is moving forward, continuing that to keep our children first. We want to continue to bring those things, working with our great superintendent who was just put in place over the summer. I'm excited. I was excited to work with him in the beginning and still excited to continue to work with him, has some great ideas. So we can just continue to make our district the best it can be and continue to just move it forward. And bringing my education expertise to it. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the Hamilton Township PTA's 2021 Meet the Candidates. Candidates, I appreciate your time and your thoughtful responses to our questions. For those of you viewing, I hope this gives you more insight into our Hamilton Township Board of Education candidates and allows you to make an informed decision when you are voting. Last but not least, I would like to invite everybody to join the Hamilton Township PTA. The website for you to join is being shared. PTA supports our students and our staff throughout the district with supplies, assemblies, and during non-COVID times, special events such as movie nights and family dances. So your membership is a wonderful way for you to stay informed. It does not commit you to anything. So thank you, everyone, and stay well.